Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live on Thursdays. Well, most of the time on Thursdays. How's everybody doing today? So, thank you if you're here watching live or if you're watching the replay. So glad to have you. I'm going to get started here in just a minute. Want to make sure the sound and everything is okay. So, if you will, let me know in the comments if the camera's okay, lighting, everything, and we'll get started. Hey, Pam, welcome. So, hi, Debbie. So, we had family and friends visiting this past weekend. Oh, good. Thanks, Debbie. And the last day they were here, I had another bout with vertigo. Yeah. So it wasn't full out vertigo. If you've ever had that, you can't focus with your eyes. It was just like dizziness. So my daughter said I need to get in to see an ENT, ear, nose, and throat specialist. So, because I'm having them, well, I had one in August, a spill in August, and now this one. So, anyway, they're very frustrating and not fun at all. I'm doing a lot better. I can craft and just can't move my head too fast. So, anyway, I'm glad to be here with you today. So, we're going to be doing several cards. Hey, Carol, thank you. You too. We're going to be doing several cards today. I couldn't just stop with one. But before we get started, I have a couple of flyers out here in front of me so that I can remember to remind me to tell you about. So we have begun. The first thing is let me see if I can get this back here. Yeah. The first announcement here is my new class launched, the early bird launched today. It's a creative refill notepad folder. It's really cute. It's great for gift giving. You can use any cardstock and designer paper that you have on hand. And the early bird goes from now and through Monday, the 21st. After Monday, it goes to full price. Okay, so if you're interested in that, you can let me know. After the video, I'll put the link to the class, the information on the class in the comments, not the comments, but the, what do you call it? Description. Yeah. So anyway, that launched today, the early bird. And then also this month with Stampin' Up, all the kits in the kits collection are on sale up to 30% off. And so there are some really good deals on these kits. There's a Precious Christmas card kit. There's the gift box. I forget, I think it's called a card keeper. I still haven't put mine together, but it's the beautiful blue box that has the dividers and makes several of each kind of card, and it's great for gift giving. So don't let the sale pass you by if you're interested in that. Okay. Hey, Linda. Good to see you. Okay. So today we are working with the Christmas Labels bundle, which is in the mini catalog. It's got these great sentiments that really stand out on your card making projects. And so we have that, and there are 4 labels that come in the die set. They're very pretty and go well, match the different shapes of the sentiments in the stamp set. So I do want to say you can totally use this stamp set without having the labels too. Okay, it'll be just as pretty. But these just are fun to use and make a real pretty accent on your cards or projects. Okay, let's get started. Okay, here's the first card we're going to make. We're keeping it nice and simple because that's what we need when we're crafting our Christmas cards, right? But look how that just pops out on the front, okay? So I'm starting with a Poppy Parade card base of 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Okay, and I'm going to give that a good burnish with a foam folder. For the inside, I have a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 basic white, and I am going to use a leftover scrap that I had when I was cutting my designer paper here for the card front. So I cut 2 of these 5 inches long, and then I had about 2 inches or so left off the bottom. And so I just cut that in half to use on the inside of the card. Now, let me tell you something. I put this up here. No, it doesn't go all the way across. That is okay. All right. So I put 1 by 3 3/4, okay, which is what this is, or 1 by 4 if you want to go all the way across. But, make use of those scraps that you cut off when you have those strips left over at the end, and use them on your cards. Okay. Especially good for the inside. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish off the inside so I can get these pieces out of the way. I'm going to center this about 1/4 inch from the bottom, about 1/8 of an inch from each side. Okay. And then I'll show you after a while what I did to the strip that's on the inside of this sample card. Let's put these here. So, question for all of you: has anyone finished their Christmas cards that they're making? Not me. I mean, I'm making some as I go, some every week. Yes, Debbie, you can angle it. Yes. I know a lot of you on here make your Christmas cards, even if you don't make all of them that you send out. I know you do make some. Okay. All right. So there's the inside of our card done. Next, we have this 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece. This is the Snowy Scenes Designer Series paper. Okay, let me see if I can find that in here. It's really got some pretty colors in it, and it's got Poppy Parade as the red. Here it is. It's on page 33. And you can see it's got the cute little characters or the houses on one side with the snow globes, and the flip side are just general patterns that you can use, and you don't have to have this stamp set and bundle. Okay. And let's see. I need to show you where the bundle is here for Christmas labels. Let me see if I can find it. Christmas labels, page 40. That index at the back of this catalog is very helpful when you're looking for something. Okay, so 40 and 41, here's the bundle, and you can see the different, these are the 2 I put on the slide to announce this live. I just used some of Stampin' Up's cards. Okay, so it's just page 40 because it doesn't have a coordinating designer paper. You can use any designer paper with it. So this one I chose Snowy Scenes, and I'm going to go ahead and mount this. So the back has this pretty holly print, and this would have been fine too, but I really liked that diagonal stripe. And it's like artsy stripe. It's like hand painted on there because they're not absolutely straight. So I'm going equidistant, just eyeballing it, top to bottom, side to side. I cut this at 3 3/4 wide so that I could have more of a border around with the Poppy Parade. Oh, Linda, yes, I know you make a lot. So, yeah, it's good to get started. Oh, Pam, me too, Pam. Me too. I'm right there with you, okay? All right, so I've already die cut these labels just to save a little time since I'm doing 3 cards. But if you were cutting paper to die cut these labels, okay, which that is this one right here, okay, then you would need at least a 2 by 3 piece. But that's not how I recommend that you do this. When you're cutting labels, especially if you're doing it in a neutral or white, or even in this gold, after I show you how I'm going to use it, I would cut like a 4 1/2 sheet of cardstock, 4 inch or 4 1/4, and just cut all the way down. You know, use it as for cutting your labels instead of cutting a little piece for each label you do. I put this measurement here so you would know, say you had a little piece of gold and you would need at least 2 by 3 to cut this label. Okay, that's what that measurement is. Okay, all right, so we have that. We have our white one. So we're going to go ahead and stamp on this. And I chose the Celebrate the Holidays in All the Ways. So let's see, I don't think I need this white behind it, so I'm just going to put that there. And I'm using Garden Green ink. So Jackie was just in here working on tying some flies, you know, for fly fishing. And I said, I'm getting ready to start my live in about 10 minutes. He goes, oh, so go ahead and get out of here and go fishing. I said, well, you can, or you can just quietly tie your flies. Okay, I'm going to stand up so I can see this. I'm going to ink it up again. And do you see how that curve fits right in there? Okay. It's just so pretty. I'm going for it. I mean, look at that. Isn't that so pretty? I love these labels. When I saw this catalog, and I'm sure I've told you this before, but this is the bundle that was first on my list. First. Okay. All right. So next, I'm going to take this label, and it's the same size, right? So if I did this, it wouldn't show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to close this ink pad first. And get my scissors, my paper snips, and I'm going to cut it in half. So I'm just going to go from this little point in the center to this little point over here. Okay, so I'm just lining up my snips and cutting straight across. All right, so now I wish I had my silicone sheet handy, but of course, oh, here it is, right where it's supposed to be. Thank goodness. Okay, so I have these two pieces. So I'm going to lay this down flat. I'm going to use a tape runner adhesive. So this is Stampin' Seal. And I like to use this because the liquid glue will work, but it's a little messy because I'm flipping this over and turning it back around. So I like to use the tape runner for this. So I'm going to line up these two little divots right there, those two little points. And let's see. You can let as much of it show as you'd like because you have plenty of room on your card front, okay? So now let's go ahead and take and put some more adhesive and try to get it about the same. So pretty. So now you have this framed out. Isn't that pretty? Okay. So now, before we even put it on, I'm going to put some more adhesive all over the back. And this is to hold my ribbon. So I have some of the gold and silver 1/8 inch trim combo pack. I believe this is an online exclusive. And when I looked yesterday, it was in low inventory. This is great for Christmas. So if you don't have it, you better snatch some up. All right, I have about 14 inches of the gold. Let me get some of these Post-its out of the way. I'm going to turn this over so I can see what the placement's going to look like. So I'm going to let a tail hang out just on this left-hand side at an angle. Then I'm pulling it across the back, and this adhesive is holding it in place, okay? And this is where it would be messy with the liquid glue. I'm making a loop and coming back and making a loop, and I can tell I'm not going to have enough. You can cut yours longer if you'd like bigger loops, but I didn't want it too much. And that's another good thing about using the adhesive, the tape runner adhesive, is you can lift this up and reposition your ribbon. So now, see, I'm fiddling with the size because I didn't want to use too much ribbon. And I could have made this little tail shorter too, but I'm gonna make this work. Okay, I'm liking that, and then I'm just gonna pull that down right there. Okay, so there we have our ribbon treatment. Looks kind of like a bow without actually having to tie a bow. Okay, and then I'm going to trim this off just a little bit to match the other tail at the bottom. Oh, what happened there? There we go. So I decided I wanted this to be a little dimensional on the front, so I'm going to use some of our Stampin' Dimensionals to pop this on. Okay, pretty generous with them, but I want to make sure it stays since it'll be going to someone for Christmas. Throwing these away so I don't have a mess on my desk, and then we're going to take this and just center it here. I like how that looks. Don't press down hard until you're sure you've got your positioning like you want. Okay, so there's our card, but I thought we got to add a little bit more bling. I mean, the metallic ribbon really stands out, but I found these, my Neutrals adhesive back sequins, these gold, I thought would be really pretty. So we are using those. I'm going to use a big one up here and then a small one. Almost running out of these. I need to get some more. These are in the annual catalog. Okay, and there is our first card. Simple but pretty. And this, you know, is the showstopper there. Just really stands out because of the shape of the stamp within the label. Thank you, Pam. So, yeah. Okay, there's that card. So let me get ready for our next project. Let me know if you have questions. You can post them because I can see them really well today. Okay. Next, we are going to make like a vintagey looking card with, I believe this paper is called Traditions of St. Nick. Okay. So this is the card we're making next. Let me get all of my tools and inks. So some real red ink, some linen thread, the Believe sentiment from the stamp set, and then everything else is in here. So let's take a look at what we need. Okay, I don't know if I'm still there. Can you see me? Okay, so what happened is I got a phone call right in the middle. So I'm going to see if I can get back to you. Can you still hear me? You can hear me. Okay. Let me see what I can do. I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode. Okay, so let me see. Let me see if I can add it back. Just 1 second. Let me see. No, it's not wanting to show. Okay. Let me see what I can do here. I know you can see my face, but I know you can't see my tabletop. So let me see. First of all, let me see. Okay, let me see if it can go. Okay, it's trying. Yay, it's back. Okay. So, Debbie, would you text Kristen and tell her that I am live, please? Okay, I'm going to try to put this in airplane mode so that does not happen again. No, that's not going to work. Do not disturb, maybe. Thank you. Okay. So let me... Okay, here we go. Put you back up here. Okay, sorry about that. I usually do something with my phone so that the calls don't come through. And whew, I forgot. I'm sure Kristen forgot. Because this is Thursday, right? Done. Thank you. Thank you, Debbie. All right. Okay, let me get you back here. Sorry about that. Here we go. We're back. Okay, so now we have Mossy Meadow, 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to just give this a good score. All right. And then I have my inside, which is 4 by 5.25. And again, I use some scrap strips. A scrap strip. This is cut at 3/4 by 5 3/8. Okay. And so I am going to put this here. Nope, it's cut 3/4 by 5.25. Okay. Ignore that. Let me measure this. I don't want to tell you wrong. You know, for the inside of my card, yeah, it's 5.25. Okay. So again, this is Traditions of St. Nick. I believe that's the name of it. And it is an online exclusive. It was released last year, and I just love it. Love this vintage look. You know what it reminds me of, Debbie? I think that this, remember the Winter Post stamp set? Do any of you remember that stamp set? At first, it was this was years ago. Okay, I think it was first just available in woodblock, and then it carried over and it went to clear mount. But I loved that stamp set, and this paper brings back memories of using that stamp set. I used it a ton. Yes, Debbie, I know you have. Yes, yes, Winter Post. It's got skaters on it. It's got a postmark. It's got a snowflake. What else, Debbie? I forget what all is on there. Anyway, just love it. All right, so I've got my inside, okay, and now so I'm going to take my designer paper, and I chose this print with the mailboxes, like Letters to Santa, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And we're going to build up on this before we put it. Oh, a Santa letter. Okay, yeah. And then I have this one, which is like a brocade print, 2 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I want to show you when I cut this, this is the right orientation for this paper because I was going to make it portrait, but I decided to make it landscape instead, and I thought it was still fine to use it like this, and so I went with it. Okay. And then I have 2 strips of that red check that is cut. Read it so I don't tell you wrong. 1/2 by 5 3/8. And we're going to use that to border this designer paper here and bring some of the red in. So I'm going to take this, put a thin bead of liquid glue, line that up. Okay, and you can that's a 1/2 inch, you can let more of it show if you'd like. And then we have another piece. And put that there. Okay. And then this is going to go right there in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Thank y'all for sticking with me when I had my little faux pas there with the screen going black. I'm glad it at least didn't kill the whole live, make it all go away. That way I was able to bring it back. Okay, so we have that. And so now I'm going to take one of the Santas from that paper and I'm going to fussy cut around it. And just leaving a little bit of white going around. These, I have those little old world Santas. They're all about, I don't know, about this tall from the different countries. Do any of y'all have those? I got mine at Dillard's. Oh, Joe, great. Yes. Yeah, you can make these for any occasion that you'd like. And, just change your paper and your sentiment or your image, and you've got it, girl. I love trying to find different ways to use the designer paper and, the coordination within the collections makes it really nice. When you can use mix and match. Love that. Thanks for sharing that, Joe, because that's absolutely right. You can do that. And that is my hope that in these designs that whatever occasion you need them for, you can definitely adjust and use them. Okay, so he's about ready. And so did I put dimensionals? No, I just glued him down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so he's doesn't get lost on my desk. Okay, so I know I'm going to do my label here. So to cut these, you would need at least 1.5 by 3. But again, I usually cut a long strip and cut several labels at a time. In fact, with this particular set of labels, I lay all 4 of them down on whatever color I have, and then I cut all 4 of them, and then I keep them in a little stamp case, and like that you have a lot cut that you can use. And you're not limited to this particular stamp set. You could use other sentiments on these as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp Believe on this. And ink this up in real red. I'm going to test this first. It looks like my ink pad may need re-inking, but I think we're good. Okay, I'm going to stamp that so I can see over top. Pretty good. We're going to call it good. Close this red up. And then to layer these, instead of cutting it in half, I stacked them like this and just offset. Okay, another way to layer and make it look awesome. Come on, glue. Just offset it a bit. There we go. Now we're going to put this right here. Isn't that sweet? All right. Okay, so looking at this with a vintage feel, I didn't want to use any bling. So I thought, okay, what am I going to use? So I decided to keep it simple. Got some linen thread. I'm going to tie a little bow and attach it with a glue dot. Simple, simple little ribbon, fiber treatment, I should say. This linen thread has been around a long time, and it is a staple. Okay, so let me cut this off. I've got Post-its everywhere, y'all. Okay. Yeah, Pam, thank you. Yes, I do too. Love it. Okay, so let me get some, what do you call it? Glue dot. Put it behind the knot. The other day, Mia was working on some homework up here, and she's 7, so she's in 2nd grade, and she had to cut apart some words and glue them on a worksheet. And so what, you know, she said, honey, do you have any glue? And of course, she knows I have glue from the craft room, she said. And I said, you know what? I said, I think glue dots would work better and not be as messy. So that's what they used. Isn't that a good idea for kids, is to use glue dots? Yep. All 3 of our granddaughters like to craft. So I could put glue dots in their stocking and they would love it. Okay, so that's going to go over top. Okay, and so you may have noticed that I've cut at the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 instead of 4 by 5 1/4 for my layers. I like just I'm on this kit where I like just the tiny little edge sometimes showing around the designer paper. And actually what that turns out to be is when you cut this 4 1/8 or 5 3/8 here, you have a 1/16 of an inch left on the sides. Hi, Cindy from Tennessee. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so there is our second card. Okay. All right, we've got one more. Any questions? I love that I'm getting some of my Christmas cards done. Love it. Okay, so next this is a different kind of project, okay? And you can use it for in different ways. I'm going to show you the finish. So I made a wine bottle tag. So you could also use this on top of sparkling water, a bottle of sparkling water, on top of, you can adjust your ribbon. You could use it if you give someone like some apple cider, okay? I thought that would be really cute for Christmas, is to use apple cider. We had this leftover. My dad had given it to us. It's like I'm saving it for a special occasion. It was his favorite wine. So anyway, I said, Jackie, go get me that bottle of wine so I can show him how you can use it on top of a bottle. So we're going to make this wine tag, or bottle tag, I should say. Okay, let me get my stuff over here. So it doesn't take much here. I'm getting it says, hope your season is filled with magic. Okay. So I'm getting all the goodies out here. And a hole punch. You do need a hole punch. I'm sure most of you have that. All right. So now I've cut 2 of these labels. I didn't put what size, but I cut this at least 3 by 4 when I'm cutting these. Okay. And then, but again, I usually use a long strip and cut multiples at a time. I have a 5 1/4 by 3 piece of thick basic white. I like this thick for the tags, and the same size for the designer paper. This is Sentimental Christmas. It's our give back paper. If you haven't seen it, it's really beautiful. Has all kinds of designs, kind of like that old vintage feel, like of Christmases gone by, you know. Let me see if I can find it in here. Here it is. Sentimental Christmas Designer Series paper. It's on page 5. Stampin' Up! Will make a $3 donation for every pack of Sentimental Christmas Designer Series paper sold to literacy, okay? Toward, let's see, how do they say it? To benefit children's literacy, which is, to me, as a former teacher, classroom teacher, great cause. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to just kind of do a little something with this. I'm going to, y'all, this is messy. I don't want y'all seeing all this mess here. Let's try that. Okay, now, all right. So I'm going to go a 1/2 inch from the edge here. Take a pencil and do a little mark. And then I'm going to go a 1/2 inch down from the top. And you just have to do this on one side, really. Okay, then I'm going to take my paper snips. I know, it's like, get the mess out of the camera, Lisa. Woo. All right, so I'm going to put it on the edge there and cut up to the top one. Okay, and then what I do here to try to make it the same, I think that's right. Okay, I'm going to line that up. And it makes it might not be exactly, but I just use it as a pattern and cut. Okay, so there you have your top. Then you're going to take the same size in designer paper. You want your pattern going the long way, 5 1/4 tall by 3 inches wide. And I'm going to glue this over top. Okay, let me find my glue here. It's been a couple of chilly mornings here. It's really, really fall-like. It's very pretty. I'm going to be posting a couple of pictures of two of my favorite trees that we have here on the property by the cabin. And then you see how I'm just cutting off the excess going along the edge there. That's the easiest way to do that. Just lay it over and cut it off. All right. So now we have this. And then I wanted to give the edges a little more oomph, a little more, not dimension, but just a little more pizzazz, I guess. So I'm using a blending brush and I'm going around the edge and making the edge just a little bit darker. Back in the day when I was really into the vintage, I would have gone around this with crumb cake and made it look really like aged. But here I like using the color. You know, paper crafting goes through trends, you know, trends in color, trends in design, and all of that. But, you know, we like what we like, right? Sometimes we just go revert that, you know, make our cards, and everybody has a style. And whether you realize it or not, you do. And I think that's what makes it so special. Everybody has their own unique style. All right, so we've got that. So next, what am I going to do? It's super simple, y'all. I'm going to take my white label and I'm going to cut off the filigree. Yeah, Debbie, you sure do. You still do vintage. Yep, that's your style. And I'm cutting here. There's a cut through actually on the tag, but I'm just meeting the cut from the edge. It doesn't go all the way to the end, of course. And I'm cutting the scrolls off. You can save these as if you want, or you can trash them. You know, you can use them on the top of another. All right. So now we have this. I see I have a little bit I need to kind of. Okay, so now this is going to say, hope your season is filled with magic. I'm using Lost Lagoon ink. Midcoast, Maine, Ocean. Yes. Yes, Kay, I bet it has been cold up there. Yeah, it's been chilly. They told us we were in for a warm-up, so I don't know how much of a warm-up we're going to have. But, okay, so I'm getting this. This stamp, as are several of them within the set, or have a little bit of an angle to it. You see these? Winter Wishes, Hope Your Season is Magic, Love and Joy. They've got that angle to them. So that's what I'm using on here. Okay. Then for your backing, you're going to take this whole piece and glue the white over top. Okay. Kay, how cold has it gotten? What's your temps? We got down to 32 and in the 30s this morning, I think. 32 yesterday morning. It was chilly. Okay, so now, isn't that fancy schmancy? Okay, so now I am going to punch the hole at the top of my tag. And I just kind of eyeball it in the center. And probably about a 1/2 inch down from the top. Okay. And then I'm going to get my ribbon And this is that cherry cobbler in gold from the mini catalog. And 14 inches of ribbon. All right, and so what I do here is I divide it in half, fold it in half, and then you can take this folded part and push it through, thread it through the hole. I'm going to push it through with my pencil and pull it up. So depending on what bottle you're putting this on, you could even use this as a Christmas ornament. It could even be a tag on a gift. You could even do a card base and put this on the top. Okay, so it's not just a bottle tag, okay? But I wanted to show you how you can do this. So I'm going to do it about like that. Come up. I try to make these even. And I'm looking, that would be big enough if I had another wine bottle. And then I'm going to get my glue dots. And that's not working. And I put it behind where they come through the hole, okay, where these two ends come through the hole. And then press down really good to hold it. And that's going to hold it, okay? That's what holds that tag, the ribbon onto the tag, okay? All right, then now we can position the label like this. And then I use these little filigree things here. I'll show you after I get it down, to hold the ribbon away from the sentiment, so it doesn't cover up the sentiment. You could also use a glue dot to hold it down. I'm going to pull this down just a tad like that and glue it on. Okay, let me straighten this up. Get the ribbon out of the way. You don't want to get glue on it. Center it, and that's about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, maybe. You can also adjust the size of your tag if you need to, cut it shorter. And then I take these and I put them behind the little filigrees to hold it in place, okay? So now I want to add a little bling here. So I've got my basic rhinestones and my dark cherry cobbler Stampin' blends. And I'm going to color a large one and this last little middle-sized one and then a small one. Okay. So let's see how I'm going to do this. This one and put it right here. And then the little one I'm going to put down here. And then this middle-sized one can go up here. I noticed too, after I created this, little snowflakes in the background. So we have those little snowflakes that, the little embellishments that are loose, like confetti, almost snowflakes. Those would be cute glued on here too, as well. Okay. All right. So there we have our projects. Let me get them back in here without dropping this bottle of glue. Jackie said, "Don't fall and drop that bottle of wine." Okay. Here's our Santa with our believe, and then our holidays card. That, and like Joe said, you can use these for any occasion, these designs, using your designer paper to help you out, the labels to help you out, and you can make some really, really fun projects with those labels and the sentiments for the holiday season. Okay. All right. Let me see. Okay, so thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks for sticking with me when I had the little blackout with my screen. Hope you enjoyed these and give it a try. Be sure you are on my mailing list and look for the links. If you're interested in the online class, I'll put the link in the description. And until next time, let's see, next week. I may go live on Wednesday because I have a mastermind class with my business coach on Thursday and Friday. So I won't be able to do it on Thursday. So I'm probably going to do my live or do a premiere on Wednesday. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have questions. Take care. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye bye.